Hi, we're at the Westchester Children's and Teen Book Festival here at the White Plains Library, and I have Anya Wallach with me. Hi, Anya.
Hello.
You have a book, or two books out, that deal with kids that want to be in the theater, right?
That is exactly right. This series is called Stage Struck, and it's about a little girl who starts her own theater company in her town using all of her friends as the performers and actors and set designers.
Did you base it on real life?
It is inspired by a true story. I started the real-life Random Farms Kids Theater when I was a teenager in my parents' basement in Chappaqua, and so the books are loosely based on that true-life story.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
Hi, Rocco. I'm great. How are you?
You came all the way from East Hampton.
Yes, I did. I drove here this morning. A couple of hours. It's all right. Had a Starbucks on the way. It was good. In addition to being a children's author, I'm also a children's yoga instructor. So this came very naturally to me, and I was so excited to write it. It's basically a story of how yoga makes a child feel and how they can take ownership of their own body and their own mind.
What's before I Am Yoga?
You and Me, and it's about serendipity and friendship and the what ifs, all the steps that lead us to where we're supposed to be.
And your first
Very
book?
first book, The Museum. This is actually the story of a girl's journey through any museum and her visceral connection with art and how it helps her tap into her own creativity.
I have Eric Velasquez. Eric, welcome. You've won the Buddha Pelpray Award, the John Steptoe Award, and now you have this new book. It's a fact-based fiction, isn't it?
Correct, yes, fact-based fiction. So Susan Myers recounted a personal experience and then just retold it in this form. She had a friend who had to suffer the indignity of not being able to try on a pair of shoes. And then she did some research and realized that this was kind of widespread throughout the South in the 1940s and 50s, and decided to frame all the stories that she collected and all the reference into this story called New Shoes.
Here with me are Tom Roach, the mayor of White Plains, and Paul Freed, the superintendent of schools. Well, thanks for having us.
Well, thanks for coming and highlighting this wonderful event. It's something that we value greatly in our city, and we're very pleased to have it every year.
This is a spectacular facility. The work that they've done here in recent years has just really made it enticing to our young people. It's very exciting for the city and for the school district as well.
I have to say, I really like your tie. Hi, Carrie.
Hey, Rocco, how are you?
You've taken your love of music and being a musician and have done something with it. You have 4 books, and they each have a musical theme. And your latest is Bird and Diz.
It's the story of the creation of bebop jazz by Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie.
So who illustrated this book?
Spirit Seeker was illustrated by my friend Rudy Gutierrez, who's a wonderful, wonderful illustrator and artist. Rudy's work is very big. I mean, this piece right here is 5 feet tall, the original, by 3 feet wide. And it's stunning in person. Just leave you breathless.
I am so happy. I found Tanya, Simon, and Mark Siegel. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I have to tell you guys something. We just did our Kid Lit TV holiday special. And on our holiday special, we had myself and Maria Russo from the New York Times, John Sellers from PW, Publishers Weekly, and Mr. Shu, John Schumacher, where we picked 12 new holiday books. And Oscar was one of those.
That's so exciting.
Yes.
This little boy who is brought to the shores of America, and he's alone, and then he has to find his way to his aunt's house 100 blocks up Broadway. But along the way, because it's the 7th night of Hanukkah and Christmas Eve, 8 mitzvahs, 8 blessings befall him that restore, in a sense, his hope and his innocence.
A lot of research went into this book. And so he meets, and it's not a spoiler, he meets a few famous people on his way, one being Count Basie and the other one being Eleanor Roosevelt. So they were actually in New York on that night.
It's a little bit, the 3 of us collaborated very closely on the whole book. We had to fudge a little bit. Eleanor Roosevelt actually left early that morning. And,
Close enough.
But we said, well, it's close enough. And Count Basie was actually there.
We actually walked Oscar's walk all the way from South Ferry up to 101st Street. And you can imagine what it would be like for a little boy with small legs, in the cold. We're right near Carnegie Hall. A big man was humming a jazzy tune. The man whistled to Oscar. Oscar whistled back. And this is another one of these magical moments. His first conversation in America is whistling with Count Basie.
I found one of the attendees of the Westchester Children and Teen Book Festival. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Tamia M.
Are you enjoying the day?
I am definitely enjoying the day. I saw like a lot of good books and books I've already read by authors that are just amazing. The Offenders by Jerry Craft was a good book I saw, and The Cake Diaries by Coco Simon was also another very good book I saw in there.
Fab Four Friends. And by the cover, we know it's about the Beatles.
That's right. This is John, Paul, George, and Ringo's early years. I wanted to share with kids the story of how they became the Beatles and how they formed the band, how they got together, so kids would see that it doesn't happen overnight.
I'm here with Matt Davis, editorial cartoonist for Newsday, turned children's book author and illustrator. Well, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So your latest book is Nerdy Birdie, and the author is Aaron Reynolds. And so you did the drawings. So that is your third book with Neil Porter, the famous Neil Porter, who was just honored at the Eric Cole Honors. And so what's the lowdown with Neil? How is it working with him?
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, he's just no. He's amazing. He's great. He sort of picked me up off the street. He published my first book, which was Ben Rides On, and then I did Ben Draws Trouble, which came out earlier this year. Ben is sort of semi-autobiographical. I sort of took the aspects of my childhood where I found salvation in drawing, and where teachers actually went, oh, this kid actually is kind of funny and he can draw, instead of just getting in trouble for it. And then I illustrated Nerdy Birdie. So, and I wasn't planning on doing it, just book illustrations, but the manuscript from Aaron Reynolds for Nerdy Birdie came across my table, and it was just funny.
I'm here with debut author Neil Swaab. Thanks for being with us. The Secret to Ruling School. So do you have the secrets to ruling school?
Yes, I do. They're in this book. Every secret.
I know that in the book there's like a section on how to get in with the in-group.
There's basically all the in-groups. So it's everything from like jocks to the class clowns to the artists to the band kids, to everything that you can imagine, sort of the 7 most like popular kind of social groups. Little tips and secrets how to get in.
Hey, Tracey, you also have 2 series. One is the Dragon Master series.
It's part of Scholastic Branches series, which is a great series for kids who are transitioning from early readers to chapter books. So the books have a lot of pictures, it's short chapters, it's friendly vocabulary, exciting stories, and I think Dragon Masters is a pretty exciting series too.
I am with Bianca Turetsky, and her books are The Time Traveling Fashionista.
Time Traveling Fashionista is about a 12-year-old girl, Louise Lambert, from Fairview, Connecticut, who is obsessed with vintage clothing, and she tries on this magical vintage dress and gets transported back in time to the last time the dress was worn. So in each book, she finds herself in a different historical moment. So on the Titanic, right before the French Revolution, in Versailles, Marie Antoinette, and then Cleopatra, ancient Egypt.
So if you have to pick a fashion moment,
yes,
what moment would that be?
I am dying to write about the 1920s and do some flapper dresses and some headbands and T-strap shoes. So that I would love to be able to do the next one.
Delores is a teacher, and she has this book, I Don't Want to Go, probably about someone that doesn't want to go to school. Am I correct?
It's actually about a young boy who doesn't want to go into a special ed class as he's leaving his mainstream classroom.
I'm assuming that you saw a need for this in your everyday school life.
Yes, I've been a teacher for 22 years, and my experience with working with students in special ed is that they are attached to the stigma behind receiving these services and just being comfortable and trusting that this is a process that will help them. So I wanted to talk about that.
So I'm here with Torrey Maldonado. So your book is Secret Saturdays. Yeah. So tell us about the main character.
The main character is named Justin, and Justin is a lot like myself. He grew up in Red Hook. He's half Puerto Rican, and also he's half black. He is trying to decide who he wants to be in middle school.
This book has brought you to the White House. When were you at the White House?
Yes, I got the email, and they invited me to come on June 24th. And when I got the email, the first person I showed it to was my wife, because I thought somebody was pranking me. I thought Ashton Kutcher sent it to me, and I was going to be on Punk'd. And it turns out that it was legit.
Thank you so much to Kid Lit TV for coming here today.
And we'll see you all next year. Same place, same time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.